So the FTX hacker was finally revealed, and it's pretty crazy what actually was going on behind the scenes. So like I reported about a week ago, it's crazy this all happened in the course of just 1 week, but a week ago, FTX declared bankruptcy, and then within hours of declaring bankruptcy, someone hacked into their accounts and stole the remaining $600 million in cryptocurrency that was still in there. Now, right after that happened, the FTX team, put out bulletins everywhere. Don't use our app. Don't use our service. Apparently, hackers have access to it. They'll get all your information. Delete it. Don't use any of it. And everyone was freaking out that a hacker had all this information, that they had stolen the remaining funds that were left in their $600 million. And it turns out that was all fake. Now, I said this a week ago. I said this, I think it was the second video I ever did on FTX. I said, there is no way this is a hack. This is an inside job. And it turns out that was actually the case. So yesterday, the FTX team and Sam Bankman-Fried filed paperwork in the US saying that the government of Bahama, the Bahamas is where FTX was headquartered, that the government of Bahama had illegally forced Sam Bankman-Fried to move the remaining cryptocurrency out of its account after the bankruptcy was declared. And then later that same day, the Bahaman government, they actually issued this press release admitting that, yes, they forced Sam Bankman-Fried to withdraw the funds, and now all of the remaining funds are in a wallet that is owned by the Bahaman government. They converted all the different cryptocurrency into Ethereum, and having all of those funds in Ethereum now makes the Bahaman government the 35th biggest Ethereum whale in the world. So they have the 35th most amount of Ethereum anywhere of any group in the world by collecting what was left in the FTX funds. Now, like I said, I was sure that there was no way that this was an actual hack. It was an inside job, and I was right. But I have to say, I don't know how I feel about the Bahaman government actually doing this. On one side, it's a good thing that the money isn't in FTX hands anymore, because we realize they are not reliable at all. So hopefully they don't have any more of anyone's funds anymore. But at the same time, what the Bahaman government did doesn't appear to be legal. So FTX filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the US, and it says this: Chapter 11 bankruptcy is a period of time in which all judgments, collective activities, foreclosures, and repossessions of property are suspended. So nothing should have happened to any of the funds once they declared bankruptcy. And we have confirmation he did this. He was forced to do this by the government of Bahama after bankruptcy was declared. So none of those funds, nothing should have been touched until regulators, everyone could come in, see what was left, and then work out what to do with the remaining money. So like I said, I don't really know how I feel about this. Obviously, FTX isn't trustworthy, but at the same time, did the Bahaman government really have the authority to do that? And how trustworthy is the Bahaman government? Are they going to do the right thing? I really don't know much about that government down there. Are they trustworthy? I've been hearing a lot of reports that they're not the most trustworthy government, so potentially it might disappear. I don't know if that's true or not, but hopefully that money, the $600 million that was left, will eventually go back to people who lost money in the fraud. Now on to Sam Bankman-Fried, who apparently did this interview the other day, and he seems to be going through the first stage of the 5 stages of grief, which is denial. Because in this interview that he did, he goes on to blame his former ex-girlfriend for many of the issues, and then you can see he's in denial. He talks about how he believes that if he had not declared bankruptcy, and it seems that other people told him you got to declare bankruptcy, he did not want to do that. Based on what he says, he thinks that if he did not declare bankruptcy, he would have been able to save this company, which is crazy. So take a look at this. I effed up big multiple times, the fallen 30-year-old cryptocurrency mogul admitted to Vox reporter in a Twitter confessional over which even she admitted being shocked. You know what was maybe my biggest single F up? The one thing everyone told me to do, he said. Chapter 11, he said, claiming that without bankruptcy, everything would be 70% right now if I hadn't done that. Instead, I filed, and the people in charge of the company are trying to burn it all to the ground out of shame. That is absolutely crazy to me, that this guy is just in complete denial as to what he was responsible for actually happening. He's like, oh no, I could have fixed this, guys. He goes on to say, we just would have shut the accounts down. No one would have withdrawn money for a month, and I could have gotten all the money back, and everything would have been fine. That is just absolutely crazy, and he's clearly just absolutely in denial as to what actually happened. Now, like I said, this guy, this guy's pretty much screwed. Him and the Alameda chick, they're going to face many, many consequences and probably spend a good majority of the rest of their life in prison, if I had to guess. But on the flip side, it seems to be good that at least some of the money, obviously a good portion of it is never coming back, but the 600 million or so seems to be in better hands, the Bahamian government, as opposed to FTX's hands, and hopefully some of that will eventually be returned to people who lost money with FTX.